God morning. How are you doing? This is Pastor John, Pastor of East Atlanta Church. I know you're looking at like, wow, you're a little bit late this morning. I know, trying to get some people to get up and, just get involved and get ready. But this morning, what we're going to be dealing with is understanding your perception is your reality. So many times what we do in the body of Christ, we begin to try to tell people what God has done for us. But until people really understand and change their vantage point, until we begin to change our vantage point, things can't get better for us. Until we start being positive in our thinking, positive in our speech, and positive in our outlook. Sometimes that means you have to change your perception, because understand, a person's perception is their reality. Remember that. A person's perception is their reality. What do you mean by that, Pastor? I mean, I don't care how many times you try to tell somebody that God can bring them through, and their situation isn't that bad, and that they're going to be able to do better. Until they believe that and can see that in their mind, the reality of it is they're still saying, I'm in lack. I still don't have what I need. I'm still going through, and there's nothing that can happen. But what we have to do is have enough to change, to get up out of that situation that we're in, get out of that bed that we're in, get out of beating ourselves up, move out of our own way and change our vantage point. And sometimes we don't get that, but if you stand if you and your friends sit in the same position and you look at the same thing, but you two will see things totally differently. Why? Because you're at two different points in your life. You're seeing things at a different angle. Sometimes what we have to do in the kingdom is change our vantage point. That means also change the way we look at things. A lot of times we have bad attitudes and negativity, and we speak negativity. Proverbs 18:21 tells us that power, life, and death abides in the tongue. Now, if it abides in the tongue, then why are we speaking negative things? Well, what do you mean by negative things? I mean, even having attitudes about things. Even want to say, well, this person doesn't care about me, but this person doesn't love me. People always getting on my nerves. My job is driving me crazy. All these things are negative things that we're feeding into. It's amazing. I was listening to the radio not too long ago, and it's song by No Limit. So the No Limit Camp came on. And I remember when they came out, they used to be called Cash Money Brothers or something like that. And then the younger ones came out, Young Money Millionaires or whatever. And at that time, when they start calling themselves that, they were broke. They were not millionaires. But I noticed that they spoke this. Now, if the world can understand that the power of life and death abides in the tongue, why can't the kingdom get that? You got to start believing that you're more than a conqueror. You got to start believing that you're going to come out of this situation, and you can't have a bad attitude about it. I don't care what's going on in your life. You still got to be positive. So what a person isn't treating you right and you don't feel that they're respecting you, you still love them like they're treating you like gold. Can you imagine this? If you love your haters even more, then guess what? Maybe they may stop hating, or maybe they'll look inside of themselves and realize that, hey, if this person can love me in the midst of me treating them bad, then maybe I need to do something better about myself. But when you begin to treat people the way that you're treated, then you're no more than they are. So we got to understand, we got to change our thought process. It's not an eye for an eye. Okay, we have to love the hell out of people. Literally, there's hell inside. Love it out of them. And we have to do that by changing our perception. So that will become our reality. So the positiveness of life, so the things and the blessings that God has promised us will come. A lot of times we sit back and we hold off and say, well, I'm blessed anyway. Well, let me explain something to you. And I always say this. Understand what true blessings are. True blessings is that when man looks at you, they know God had to do it for you. And I know people say, well, listen, God woke me up this morning and that's about blessing. Well, God woke up, everybody woke up this morning. The person that denies God, the person that hates God, the person that is worship the devil, the person that's a pedophile, the person that's a murderer, the person that's an adulterer, the person that's a liar, all those people woke up this morning. And remember, God can't bless that which is kept. So what is it saying? It's not that God blessed you to wake up this morning. God favored you to wake up this morning. And he favored all of us to wake up this morning at another chance to get it right, to change our mindset and to change our perception so we can do what he called us to do. Now imagine and look at it that way. That means we owe God. Can you imagine that if we begin to look at it and say, God, I owe you because you're giving me a second chance and a third chance to do it right, then we'll probably try to change the way we do things. Think about it. Change your perception and make a brighter perception your brighter reality. This is Pastor John, pastor of East Atlanta Church. Love you and be blessed. Change your perception and your vantage point. Bye-bye.